If you listen to modern dating advice, you'd think attraction is a high-stakes exam. You're told to read the right books, memorize the perfect lines, and execute these flawless, sweeping romantic gestures. The problem with all that rehearsal is the energy it creates. It turns every interaction into a tight, frantic performance. You grip your glass a little too hard, you fill silences a little too fast, and that nervous, coiled anxiety pushes people right out the door. But here is the irony. While you're sweating over finding the exact right thing to say, she's actually fixated on the way you adjusted your cuff 30 seconds ago. You are winning them over with laundry skills and basic beverage management. Take a look at this diagram comparing the real drivers of attraction. The sphere representing conscious performance, your rehearsed jokes and planned maneuvers, shrinks to almost nothing the moment you step into the room. But the sphere for unconscious habits expands to dominate the space. It's the tiny, unthinking behaviors that take over when you drop the script. Without even realizing it, by simply existing in your natural, unbothered state, you are running a highly effective one-man attraction campaign. We can break this down into 3 pillars, starting with the mastery of pacing. Moving slowly and deliberately through physical space broadcasts an ultimate quiet confidence. Take the simple act of rolling up your sleeves. Most guys yank at their clothing like they're late for a fire, but a slow, deliberate roll of the cuff up the forearm shows a lack of rush. You think you're just getting comfortable. She thinks you're putting on a private show. Then there's the pause before you speak. A slight hesitation, a grounding inhale where your chest subtly rises, makes it look like you're actually weighing the words you're about to use. The default setting for most men is panic. They treat silence like it's dangerous, scrambling to fill the dead air with fast, forced chatter. Taking your time communicates safety. It proves you're in command of your own tempo. Even if you're just commenting on the weather or the parking situation, that deliberate pacing elevates the interaction into something magnetic. This brings us to the second pillar. This diagram tracks physical motion over time. Notice how the erratic, high-frequency waveform of nervous fidgeting flattens out into a single heavy baseline. You see this economy when you casually lean against a wall or a doorframe. Instead of standing completely rigid, arms glued to your sides like you're waiting for permission to exist, you casually use the architecture as a prop. It happens at the bar, too, holding a glass with one relaxed hand. No spinning it, no anxious tapping on the condensation. You hold it effortlessly. Or picking up a heavy chair or a bag of groceries with one hand, mid-conversation, without breaking your stride or grunting. The less effort it looks like it takes, the better it lands. Even running a hand through your hair works, provided you do it while completely distracted by a random thought, like debating what to eat for dinner later. All of these actions share the exact same subtext. They project a person who is entirely unbothered by their environment. Stripping away excess movement broadcasts quiet capability. It proves you have a right to take up physical space, and that kind of comfortable ownership draws people in. The final pillar moves past how you handle your own body and into how you receive someone else. Let's look at unegoic presence. When she's talking, your eyes aren't darting to the television behind her, your phone, or the bartender. You maintain steady, relaxed eye contact. You are just there, at a small, perfectly timed nod of the head. It's almost invisible, but it clearly says, "I hear you. Keep going." The reason this stands out so sharply is because listening is rare. Most people are simply waiting for their turn to speak, silently strategizing how to steer the topic back to themselves. Removing the urge to interrupt or redirect strips your own ego out of the interaction. You provide the rare experience of making a person feel genuinely heard, rendering them the absolute center of gravity in the room. But there is a catch to all of this. This flowchart maps how the system operates. Unconscious action feeds directly into attraction. But watch what happens when a new node, self-awareness, is injected. The entire loop breaks and turns red. This is the paradox of awareness. If you attempt to weaponize these behaviors, say faking a slow sleeve roll just because you think it looks cool, it instantly registers as vanity. The magic trick fails the moment you try to perform it. The absolute requirement for these habits to work is zero conscious thought. The second you realize you're running your hand through your hair, you ruin the effect. which means you are completely off the hook. You don't need to practice the right way to hold a drink, and you definitely do not need to rehearse a casual lean in the mirror. The baseline for impressing a partner is surprisingly low. It doesn't rely on grand theatricality or complex psychology. It is built entirely on basic physical composure. The most attractive thing you can do is drop the act. Stop performing, exist comfortably, and let your subconscious